Was Dana White right about Francis? It's looking like it. It's looking like it. It's looking like Francis pays no mind to the business side and only pays attention to his personal wants and desires. That'll all play out in this video right here. It's a 44-minute long interview. In my opinion, this is some of Ariel Helwani's best work. I feel like his whole career almost culminated to this moment. This may be, I mean, granted, PFL isn't that important, but the questions he asked were top notch. He didn't miss a beat on any questions that he asked. Then he moves into the motorcycle accident and gives him an opportunity to speak on it. He does. So in my opinion, and that's what this was all about. Really, what I'm getting to is that this whole interview too was all about talking about that girl and how she lost her life. And I think this interview is basically history at this point because of Francis discussing it here. Probably the only time he'll ever discuss it. So I'm pretty critical on Ariel, but I will say, man, some of his best work, this interview right here. Francis tries to give a lot of crap points, and Ariel just sticks to the script of asking the questions.
I wasn't very okay with the first PFL Africa event seeming to be like an undercard. I hope PFL Africa debut would have at least have his glory, his moment.
Can't wait to speak to our next guest. It has been a minute, as they say, since we last spoke to him. The last time we spoke to Francis Ngannou was last October, right after his big win over Renan Ferreira. So it's been quite some time. Appreciate his time, as always. Good to catch up with the lineal, undisputed heavyweight champion, the man himself, the pride of Cameroon, Francis Ngannou. Hello, Francis, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Ariel. I'm good, and you?
Long time no speak.
Yes, very long time.
It's good to talk to you. How's everything going? How's life?
Life is good. You know, I just keep it a little low right now.
You're staying low. You're out of the limelight.
Yeah, you know, just trying to chill, take a break out of everything.
Any particular reason?
No, just feel like, you know, just feel like.
So in my opinion, the way this starts off, Ariel's almost hinting at that girl incident as far as, you know, Francis laying low, but hey, it is what it is.
So you said you were laying low, all good. Obviously, part of the reason why we connected very recently, we stay in contact, was your name came up recently because PFL finally unveiled PFL Africa, which was a big thing in what you were doing with them and when you came over. First, did you see those events? They've had two now, I believe. And if so, what did you think of them?
Well, they have two now, and it's been going very good. And basically, the second one, I think I was more for the second one. But obviously, I also saw the Donn comment, and I think that's your point. That's where you're going to. But the PFL Africa was good. The business part of it is good.
Okay, so for those that may not know what I'm referring to, this is the Donn Davis quote. We have it here because I think it's important to get it right. Someone asked him about you not being at the events, and he said, "I'm not going to hide it. I expected him. This is part of his vision. We worked for 2 years. I'm direct and say what I think. I'm disappointed. Disappointed in you not being at the first two events." A lot of people, I guess, thought that you would be there because it was a big thing, and clearly he thought. What is your reaction and response to this?
Well, first, as far as my reaction, I was like, I don't think it was something that he should have bring it out there, right? I mean, at least if it was me, I wouldn't keep it out there. Now, because he get in the position that we have to bring up context, like why didn't I come there? He didn't know why I didn't come, you know? I mean, I've been waiting this for 2 years, and this was the big part of it. So when you're working on something, like when you guys are still working on something, unless you think you have it's off, it's not the thing that you bring it outside, you know. I wasn't okay with something, but it wasn't the one that was going to take it out. For example, like if you want to know what exactly is the reason why I wasn't there, I wasn't very okay with the first PFL Africa event seeming to be like an undercard. Quoting him, we work a lot for that, for the PFL Africa, but I hope PFL Africa debut would have at least have his glory, his moment. But that wasn't my decision, and
it's just worth noting, and I almost feel bad just like picking this guy apart off the bat, but it's like, dude, if you're gonna be disingenuous, it's forcing my hand to say this. Everything he's saying about this first PFL Africa event, it wasn't the main event. The main PFL Africa event, I know that it was PFL Africa 1, but the main PFL Africa event was the second one. And spoiler alert, he didn't like the first PFL Africa event because Johnny Eblen was the main event. That's what they're going to get into in a minute. But then on the second one, you know, it was an African main event. It was an all-African card. So all of his demands were essentially met. That he's kind of saying the reason why he didn't go to the first one, well, all those demands and reasons why he didn't go to the first one were there for the second one, and he still didn't show up. So I'm just saying, like, make that what you will, but he's kind of saying, like, I wasn't okay with the first event being like an undercard, so to speak, which is odd because the undercard was really the second event that wasn't headlined by Johnny Eblen. Nonetheless, he's saying, like, I wasn't happy with how that first one was going, so then I also just didn't show up to the second one too. Like, the second one was the main one. And Randy, we're going to get into it, but I'm having a hard time saying this real quick, but I'm just trying to tell you, the second one was the main one. That's where you have gripes, right? That's where you would have gripes with the main PFL Africa event. Obviously, the Friday show is the Friday show, but the Saturday show is the primetime event. They don't even hold events on Saturday. So the fact that they did it for they met Francis's demands for the real PFL Africa event, it doesn't really make sense to me.
I wasn't down for it, but I expressed my feeling to them.
So in other words, what you're saying is that first PFL Africa card, I remember it was in mid-July, and the main event was Johnny Eblen versus Costello Van Steenis, Dakota Decheva. Those aren't, part of the PFL Africa movement that you're starting with them, and you wanted it to just be about the African fighters, right?
Exactly, because this is what it's about. You work about something for 2 years, you expect this glorious moment, and then I couldn't explain. If I have been there, I couldn't explain. It looks like I was in the very bad position to explain how PFL Africa that I've been talking of has become an undercard. So on that perspective,
I just have to say it one more time. It's so odd to me that he calls the Johnny Eblen main event an undercard. Like, what are you talking about? The Johnny Eblen event was like that. I mean, calling that an undercard, right? And then saying all your demands that you wanted, right? You want Africans in the main event, you want Africans to be showcased on the card. All that shit happened in the second one, and that event wasn't as hyped up. It didn't go anywhere. Everybody was hyped up on that Johnny Eblen finish in Africa. So what you want, it's like that was actually the lesser show because they're all no names, but that's what you want. You want the show with all no names. It's also going to come out in this interview that Francis just has a vision. See, Francis just follows his vision. All this stuff that I'm saying right now, it doesn't make sense, right? Well, that's because Francis follows a vision. He doesn't follow what the business needs. He has a vision, and he says, fuck the business, essentially. I have a vision. So that's why, he says what he says, and it doesn't even make sense. Your vision is a fucking low-ass... Your vision is an undercard, bro. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Your vision is an undercard. Your vision looks like an undercard. Not the one with Johnny Eblen and Costello on there that resulted in a huge upset.
I'm like, I'm not facing this. So that was the main reason. So, and then what's funny is that I have seen some people talking about it, but they didn't even realize that August 9 was the second event. They thought it was the first event was the second event.
Did you share this with them? Did you talk?
He's trying to say that to make his point, like, oh, nobody knew that Johnny Eblen versus Costello took place in Africa. Be real. Let's all be real here. Let's all be real here. Nobody thought the second event was the first event because Johnny Eblen and Costello's finish was like breaking news headline all across all of MMA. That was huge for the PFL promotion for Costello to get that finish and get that publicity on that event. So again, he has no. I don't know like where Francis gets some of this stuff, but like I don't know if he's lying or if he really means what he says or who he's talking to. But I mean that's completely inaccurate that everybody thought the second one was the first one. But I guess that's to hype up his point. Again, brother, that second one was the undercard. The first one was the main one. You got it twisted.
To them about it? Did you tell them this is not what your vision was?
Yes, of course. I mean, we talk about things that we talk about like a vision. Because we put a lot of accent about like what is the vision, what we want to do, you know. And then every time I will be on the phone with Pete and Jim. Whoosh again. I don't think those are the people. Those were the people that have the full story because they've been following up. Like Pete, I talk with Pete maybe 2-3 times a week about only just about PFL Africa, right? So, but as far as Donn, we don't talk too much. We never really. Pete is always the guy that is in between us. So, which I think even from his perspective, he wouldn't have said something like that from where we were at. We were like, okay, I don't agree with this. How can we make this work? We are working on it. Like, how can we make it look to align our vision together? Because it's a matter of a vision. You know, for me, it's a vision. For me, it's not a business. Even though they are doing a great business out of it, but again, I focus on the vision of the DNA part of it, you know, to be like a PFL Africa.
Imagine working with a guy like this. That's really all I got to say about it. Like, imagine working with a guy like this. Like, you're trying to run a business, right? You've given this guy everything that goes against your business in the first place. He's getting paid money that the business doesn't even generate. And it's like, you're still, I mean, dude, imagine doing business with this guy. He's trying to fulfill a vision, and then they're trying to say, like, yeah, but we got a business to run, bro. Like, we got a business to run at the end of the day. And then he's like, no, but I got a vision. Like, I don't care about business. It's just like, what the hell? I think his stubbornness worked out for boxing. If I'm keeping it a buck, I think the stubbornness worked out for boxing. But the same flaw that he has of ignoring his business partner's best interest for himself every time, over and over again, I think that's fundamentally like, that fundamental has been there since he had the fallout with Dana White. You know? Like, that is a fundamentally wrong thing with Francis's mindset of how he approaches his career. But he got away with it, and he still thinks it works. And here he is now trying to execute the same kind of vision again, because he thinks his vision works because it did work with the whole Dana White thing, you know, in a roundabout way. But I think he got lucky with that, you know. Here he is again, letting his visions steer the ship, and Donn Davis isn't happy. Not that we really give a fuck about Donn Davis's happiness, but just like take Donn Davis out of it. Trying to make money and being in business with this guy do not go hand in hand. This guy's gonna burn all your fucking money, but his vision will be fulfilled.
Not just be like another representation of a PFL in Africa, but to be a local organization.
As far as the construction of the card and the people on the card from the PFL Africa, Africa only perspective. How involved were you in the people who were signed, the people who were fighting, the matchups? Were you involved in any of that?
I wasn't involved on the matchup a lot. I heard, I know that Eduardo was the guy, was the.
Now, I will say this. It's not a big criticism, but I just want to put it out there. Bro wasn't even involved in matchmaking, and he has all this to say about matchmaking. You know, and you're the chairman as well. So I get that, like, you as the chairman, you know, you're in a position of power, I guess, towards the matchmakers. But you know, you had nothing to do with the matchmaking. So I don't know why you got so much to say about it. Like, as the chairman, here's what the chairman should do. They should support the event. They should put their face out there so that more people can come. They should repost it, share it, and all that stuff, right? All that kind of thing. You're the chairman. You use your name to promote the event. You're there. You are the representative. So, you definitely should have been there. Regardless if you agreed with the card or not. It doesn't even necessarily matter if you agreed with the matchups. You should have been there, bro. You're the chairman. You make it look good. You show up there and act like there's nothing wrong.
Person that was in charge of like fighter, I talk after in a meeting, I give my advice, because even the event that I do in Cameroon, we have some talent. The event that I do with my foundation, the challenge. So we have some fighter that I recommended, different fighter. Even this guy, I think what was his name? Ankara from Burkina Faso was the guy that fought at my event, and I saw him. I mean, he did lose, but I was impressed with his skills. So I say, okay, there's some guy you can look up to. So, but other than that, I wasn't so much into it.
The second event was much more a PFL Africa event, I would say, but you weren't at that one either. How come?
Well, matter of circumstances, and again, we were still working on it, because let me remember this. This is not the first. This is not the only event. PFL Africa is something that is going to run. Is made to be run forever. So as we take the time that it takes to set things up right, then the company he will run properly. So I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem going, as long as, you know, we get things right and feel comfortable, because I'm going there, stepping forward, put myself in line as a guarantee. So at least I'm gonna make sure for what I'm saying, you know, for what I'm gonna stand by what I'm saying, which is what sometimes some clarification need to be made.
I mean, does anyone know what he just said there? Please drop a comment if anyone knows what he really just said there. I mean, I can't even restate what he said, because it makes no sense in my mind. Like, because he just basically left it open-ended. He's like, well, because if I'm going to go, I'm going to be showing my face and all this stuff. I guess he's saying, if I'm going to go and show my face and be the chairman, do my job, if I'm going to go do my job, then, like, you guys have to basically make me happy. And the odd thing is that, yeah, the second event, they met all your demands, bro. I just said that. They met all your demands. What the fuck else were you complaining about then? But he's basically saying, I didn't go because I'm sticking to my guns. I'm still pissed off that the first one didn't go the way I wanted it to. Like, it's crazy. I almost don't believe him. I feel like he's lying. Like, he's got a different reason, but he's just making this up.
Did you watch the events?
Yes, I watched some of them.
Did you like what you saw from the PFL Africa fighters?
I do enjoy them. I like, again, some some good talent, some raw talent as well that need to be sharpened, but that have skills to develop. So it was quite exciting, and also have like kids from the foundation fighting there. We have two guys from that started in the foundation, my foundation fighting there.
Yes. So the name of the what is the name of the foundation? Did you do an event in March in
Hold up, I'm gonna go get some water, but I'm gonna keep this interview playing real quick, okay?
Cameroon with the foundation?
I did. The name is the Francis Ngannou Foundation, but we named the event like Challenge.
Mm.
Fighting.com.
Yes, there it is. And so can I ask, after Donn said those things, did you reach out to him or anyone in the PFL to tell them that you didn't appreciate?
Yeah, sure. I reached out to P right away. I text, and then we've been talking, trying to make things work, and that's why, again, I thought it wasn't something that shouldn't bring public, because we are working on it. And then we're looking forward to make a great thing with PFL Africa. Remember, again, it's not just like it's not like a one-off event. It's not two-off event. It's a forever event. So we set things up right. It's going to be okay.
Have you talked to Donn?
No, really.
Do you want to?
No, I never initiate the intention of Donn. I don't know. I just find it a little weird. And then wasn't like quite in the excited to talk to Donn about it, like about that comment.
Was there any talk prior to all of this of you fighting on one of these first cards?
Me fighting there?
Yeah, was there any talk, since you're the face of it all?
No. He has never been a plan.
Would you have wanted that?
You have to understand that PFL Africa is a young company. Mm-hmm. And then as much as we want it to be big, to become big, is not yet at that point. He's young. We didn't give him the time. Yeah, I had like to fight in. If it's PFL Africa, yes. But know where we are at, it's really difficult to get to that point.
Is there a third event planned?
Yes, there is a third event plan, which I think will be in Benin.
Which month?
Again, I don't have. I think October. October was still what I last heard. It was October, okay. Unless he had changed his October.
Would you like to be there?
The semi-final.
Would you like to be there?
Well, I'd like to be even in the first event. If by then we get everything straight up, no problem. I'm excited about this. Remember, I'm the one initiating this. So, yes.
As a result of all of this, Francis, how would you describe your relationship with the PFL right now?
Well, so far I would say we have a good relationship. We have a two business together. One is PFL Africa, and then one is me as a fighter, and PFL as a promoter. But again, everything doesn't always run smooth. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like, okay, this is not working. This, just work like, oh, I don't agree with this. I think it should be like this, and somebody give his own point of view. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out, and then I think this is how it all works. But
I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to be rude, and I hear Francis saying sometimes you just share a point of view. No, dude, no. Honestly, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't really. Sometimes it's just like, dude, I didn't ask you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta run this fucking event the way I gotta run it. You know, like, I didn't ask you. I'm already giving you the event, right? You're already the chairman. I'm already giving your opponents guaranteed millions. Like, but then he comes in here and he's just so innocently gonna say, like, I just share my opinion, like, and they have their thing, and I just share my opinion, and you know, things just have to. No, dude, like, that's the problem. Stop sharing your opinion. Just fight, man. Like, you've gotten enough shit already. Honestly, you've gotten enough stuff. You fought Tyson Fury. You fought Anthony Joshua. You came in the PFL. Like I said, you got guarantees for your fucking opponents. You got, you know, the PFL Africa event. They literally made a super heavyweight belt just for you in the PFL. Like, that didn't even exist. That was just for you. And then here you are saying, like, I just still need to share my opinion, and it needs to be valued. It needs to be validated. Like, no, bro, we didn't ask you. Like, you feel me? Like, we didn't fucking ask you for it.
Personally, I don't think we are in that point that you could say, "Oh, we have a bad relationship." No, we have a good relationship. We are just working things out and have a. Also, we also have.
Bro, I hate to keep pausing it, but it's like, I'm gonna say this real quick, Francis. That's what you think, bro. That's what you think. These guys are pissed at you. They have spent hand over fist on you, and they haven't recouped shit. I'm just saying, bro, like, they're irritated as fuck with you. It's not like you guys are on good terms. They feel like they've got a shit end of the deal.
To understand that the problem here is not even, there's not even a problem. I think the situation here is because of a culture different, and then which they are struggling to understand the African culture aspect of things, you know. And I have to make sure that is being considered.
Maybe someone could help me here. I'm honestly not exactly sure if he's talking about PFL execs aren't in tune with African culture, with his African culture, like being like how he is as a person, as an African man, I guess, or if he's saying like the event didn't cover African culture. But dude, get off your high horse. That first event was the first event. The second one, it seems like they met all your demands. So what are you talking about with the African culture? That's leading me to think that you're talking about yourself. Like, maybe you're talking about like you're African, so you have a different mindset because you're from Cameroon, which makes sense. And then these execs are from America. They're businessmen and they have their own mindsets. But dude, like, if you're doing business with American men in America, getting paid American dollars, then don't bring in your African like culture to like these negotiations. It's only going to confuse things. Like, you need to learn how to operate business on an American level. That's where you're doing business with American dollars. Like, same way, if we went to Africa to do business, it would behoove me to learn African culture to do business there. But like Francis, it would behoove him to actually understand the opposite of what he's saying. It would behoove him to understand American culture more, so that you could do business with these American men, because there's clearly a disconnect with maybe your principles or something that aren't willing to budge. I don't know. And I don't even know if that's what he's saying, but if that is what he's saying, then that's crazy. And then if he's saying that about the event, like I keep telling you guys, they met his demands in the second one. Oh my God, it wasn't the first one. It was the second one. Okay, they met the demands. So I don't understand how you could be talking about that.
So I think that's what is getting us here. So because without that, the relation wouldn't be like qualified as great relationship. Yeah.
Well, I guess he's not talking about his own personal African culture or his Africanness. He's talking about the events. And I already said it a million times. I'm not going to say it again. But he's wrong about the events and being in a bad situation with PFL because they didn't honor his shit when they did.
Your last fight for them was in October. Has there been any serious talk this year of you fighting for them?
No, I'm started to reach out, send some email for fight and see if what's on the line. But since there's nothing yet, I think they don't. I don't think they have opening for me. So we will wait. We still have time, and yeah. Meanwhile, trying to still try on the Deontay Wilder fight.
So you have one fight left on the deal, right? With them?
Yes.
And is there a term attached to that?
Life is good, you know. I just a one-off event. Yeah, I had like to fight in. So because without that, we wouldn't be there.
These are the facts. Switch to total.
My bad. I didn't mean to. I meant to pause it and not fucking hit the back button. I don't know. This scene right here, this is why I wanted to pause it. Look at him just sitting there, like, talking about Deontay Wilder. Like, what the hell have we come to? Like, look at him sitting there. It's just, is it me or is that an image? Look at him sitting there in his lonesome. I mean, shit, I'm sitting here in my lonesome, but I'm just saying, bro. It's just an image to be had. Like, I just see him in there in that frame, name dropping Deontay Wilder. You haven't fought in PFL in about a year. We're 2 months removed. It's been 10 months. And here you are talking about Deontay Wilder. Like, we still want to see you in boxing. Like, you're a professional boxer. He's going to go on in this interview and say that he feels more comfortable in MMA anyway, but he just wants to go. So it's just crazy to me. Like, he literally says in this interview, I feel more comfortable in MMA for sure. That's my wheelhouse. But here he is, prioritizing a Deontay Wilder fight next. It's just an image, man. Look at him sitting there. No Markel Martin. That's his old manager that he got rid of.
With them?
Yes.
And is there a term attached to that? Meaning, like, it's either one fight or X amount of years?
No. I mean, yeah, there's a time limit on the term, but which is fine, which is still fine. We're good.
Is it far away?
Well, all what you have to know is that we are good.
Okay.
Nobody's going to tell you guys this, but I'll tell it to you. Time limit on the contract, right? It's fights or a term. So days, every day that goes by is one day less on Francis's current PFL contract, and he'll eventually get out of it. It'll expire. And here he is killing time with the Deontay Wilder fight. He clearly doesn't want to fight in the PFL again. I mean, he's basically saying it. And again, good work by Ariel. He's asking all these questions. That's what Ariel's thinking. He's like, damn, so you want to fight Deontay? You done one fight in PFL in like 3 years. And like, I think your contract's probably going to expire by the end of this year or some shit. And look at him smiling there. Ariel asked the good question. When does it expire? Great question. It would have been very telling.
You did mention the Deontay Wilder fight, though. That's very interesting. He won in June. Is that something that you are actively pursuing right now?
Yes, I do.
Is there any talks between you and his camp?
We haven't engaged personally, but it's gonna be soon.
Soon that you'll talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are still setting some things up, but I keep training. I'm training.
Would that be your top choice right now? In if you had a top choice in any sport, like number one fight is Deontay Wilder in a boxing match?
I would say so. Since the John fight is off, I cannot be part of it.
What does that mean when you say you cannot be part of it?
No.
Just imagine going to the Dude, it's like, imagine going to the PFL and just calling out everybody but PFL fighters. Deontay Wilder, yeah, well, I want to fight Deontay Wilder because I can't fight John Jones. Bro, of course you can't. You're in the PFL.